right, so anyway, so recently I bought a home.
Nice.
Thank you, thank you. Now, I don't know if you ever bought a piece of property and you know, I had to get a mortgage. By the time I was halfway through this process, I felt like I was in the Minions movie. I was surrounded by hundreds of people I didn't know, speaking a language I did not understand, throwing papers everywhere, and by the time I was done, I was broke. So, we at CRM Science, we're a consulting group out of headquarters in Philadelphia. My name is Sean Harrison. Hi. We're creating a solution for mortgage lenders because it's really low-hanging fruit. The industry's really behind. And so we're going to take some of that low-hanging fruit and basically we're going to revolutionize the lending industry for consumer mortgages and call it, well, maybe we'll call it the Lending Cloud, we're not sure. I had to name it something for today's presentation. And so what I'd like to do is use the Lending Cloud very briefly as a use case to show you how we're incorporating Einstein data discovery as one feature in the product. Okay? See, I scared you. You thought I was going to give you a pitch of Lending Cloud, but then I'll give you something worthwhile, right? So okay, so the lovely resolution here is not cooperating. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to do what? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to say OK, and then it's going to get bigger. Everybody wish? Positive thoughts? Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so basically in the mortgage industry, lenders, what are called lending agents or lending officers, they say they have a process, they honestly don't. If they like you, they rate you hot. If they don't like you, they rate you cold. So there's all kinds of data, obviously, that we can mine from the mortgage mortgage industry, whether it's historical data or customer data, what have you. And what we're going to do is one of the features in the Lending Cloud is going to be smart scoring. And basically we're going to expose Einstein data directory in some way. Right now I just did it in a simple way. And I'm going to pop over to this nice new tab. And are you familiar with Einstein data directory? Oh, very few hands. Okay, so I'm going to do really, really quick, just tell you what it is in 30 seconds. Einstein data directory. You can connect data sets into this wonderful wizard. It used to belong to BeyondCore. And you can connect all of those wonderful data types. We of course, for this project, connect directly to Salesforce. And what you do is once you've created your data set, then you can come in here and you could say, hey, here's all my stuff. Here's the kind of columns I have. Create for me a wonderful story. And you're going to tell them, what am I looking for? And you're going to say, I want to maximize the loan amount. In other words, I want to make loans that are really high, big loans. And you say, okay, and you look at this and it says what kind of ML models that it's going to choose for you. You don't get to choose that. That's in the future, roadmap, non-disclosure. And then you tell it to create a story and it chugs, and it spits out a story. Now it just so happens, isn't that cute? Yeah, you know, yeah. So let's look at, I did a story earlier based on some of the mortgage data by I'm the technical guy, but we have mortgage experts. They put together some data, and it just so happens he found some interesting correlations. And this is the kind of thing you're going to be able to do with Einstein Data Directory, and particularly within Lending Cloud. How much time do I have left, Daniel?
A couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, for example, here we have Data Directory. Took some of our data, and it looked, and it said, you know what? You're not closing, I didn't want to show that one first, so we're going to pretend like I didn't start yet, and we're going to go down here. Oh yeah, here we go. So hey, you've got these loan amounts, right? And you've got all these little loans. You couldn't buy a seat on the sidewalk in San Francisco for those loans. It's not going to happen, but you're closing all of those loans, and you're not closing any of the big ones. What is going on here? And if you take a look at the data, which I don't have time to show you, but if you were, you see there's a pricing bias relative to the loan agent and which loans he's choosing to pursue. He's choosing to pursue those lower ones because of that pricing bias. Secondly, oh, look at that. we took a look at some data and said, hey, if you are getting a new loan with us and you had a loan before, you're changing rates. You might be saving some money. How much are you saving by getting a different loan than the one you had? Does that make any difference at all? It makes a huge difference. It just so happens here that we are converting all kinds of leads up here where people are saving more on their loan percentage. Makes sense, right? But if you look at the data without kind of crunching the numbers, you don't see that. And more importantly, in the mortgage industry, these loan agents don't ever look at that. You think they would, but now we have a nifty slideshow to show them and say, start looking at this. But there's more. And I've got about 30 seconds. We read an article recently that domain names of emails are a consistent predictor of who will close on loans. It's true. And it just so happens that all of the smart people at Salesforce.com will close the loans. Gmail, of course, is doing well. I've upset the dog. And Live.com, those Microsoft people, just hang up the phone, baby. Let's hang up the phone. So we're going to use Einstein data discovery, and I would show you how we're doing that in code, like in the custom objects. But this is just piloted in spring and just GA'd last week, and you have to contact your executive to get it turned on. We're still waiting. Where's the camera? Still waiting. So when we get that, we'll have that bit. But what I wanted to show you then is, so what's going to happen is you'll go back into, or you'll always be in Lending Cloud, but what will happen is instead of seeing this cheesy view where they just put these random hot, cold things, instead you'll get something a little more informative, because we're going to crunch an AI number and we're going to give you a data-driven rating. So so you might say, hey, that lead was cold, but we're going to say, no, it's a 92. Get working. Ladies and gentlemen, Lending Cloud and Einstein Data Directory. Thank you.